Having an honest conversation with your spouse. 5,000 characters. The moment you found out about the affair, your mind went blank and your heart sank. The shock of being betrayed by someone you trusted is beyond words. Rage surges through you. Tears pour down your face, and sometimes a numbness sets in where you feel nothing at all. Every one of these emotions is completely natural. You are not weak. You are in pain because you loved. But the most important first step in this situation is to have an honest conversation with your spouse once your emotions have settled to some degree. A conversation held in the heat of the moment will only deepen the wounds. Even if you feel like screaming or throwing things, protect yourself by not saying anything irreversible in that moment. Only after the storm has passed can a real conversation truly begin. Before the conversation, ask yourself this: do I want to end this relationship or do I want to repair it? Either answer is valid. There is no right or wrong. But you need to have some clarity about what you want before sitting down to talk, so you don't lose your footing when things get difficult. Whether your spouse breaks down crying, begs for forgiveness, or turns around and blames you instead, you will need to be grounded in yourself to weather any of it. When setting up the conversation, choose a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. A time when the children aren't around, when phones won't be ringing, when both of you are in a relatively stable state. The purpose of this conversation is not to fight. It is to confirm the truth, express your feelings, and together figure out where to go from here. When you begin speaking, it helps to frame things as "I felt this way" rather than "Why did you do that?" Saying "I felt betrayed," "I fell apart," is more likely to lower your spouse's defenses and draw out a genuine response than launching straight into accusations. I know this is not easy. I understand how hard it is to speak calmly when you are filled with rage. But this conversation is for you. Not for your spouse, but for yourself, to find out what you need to know. It also helps to prepare a list of questions beforehand. When did it start? How long did it go on? Is it still happening? And do they still want this marriage? Hearing the answers may send another wave of shock through you. Truths you never wanted to know may come to light. But in most cases, making a decision with full knowledge is better than living in the dark. Pay close attention to your spouse's attitude. Are they genuinely apologizing, or are they simply rattled at having been caught? If they say they want to save the marriage, but make no concrete promises to change, those words are hard to trust. Judge not by their words, but by how they carry themselves. This conversation may not end in a single sitting. One talk rarely resolves everything. It may take multiple conversations, going a little deeper each time. Even if the process is exhausting and painful, a decision made without enough dialogue often leads to regret down the road. Finally, don't lose sight of what you're trying to gain from this conversation. Not revenge truth, not an outlet for anger direction. You are preparing for one of the hardest conversations of your life. The courage it takes to do that alone is proof that you are stronger than you know. A relationship after infidelity is like the sight of an explosion. Too much has been destroyed, and it's overwhelming to know where to even begin. Trying to navigate this alone or just as a couple can easily leave both of you with wounds that go even deeper. This is where professional help, specifically couples counseling, can be far more powerful than most people expect. There are many misconceptions about counseling. It is not something only weak people need. Choosing counseling is either a declaration that you are not ready to give up on this relationship or a mature decision to take good care of yourself. Either way, it takes courage. A couples counselor is a neutral third party. They don't take sides. When two people can no longer truly hear each other, the counselor becomes the bridge. Conversations at home tend to spiral into arguments the moment emotions run high. But the space of a counseling room provides a structure where those emotions can be handled safely. There is a great deal you can expect from counseling. First, you will come to understand your own emotions more clearly, whether what you're feeling is anger, grief, or fear. Untangling that knot of emotions, one thread at a time, is where healing begins. Second, you will gain some understanding of the context behind your spouse's choices. This does not mean forgiving them. But without understanding, no decision you make will ever feel complete. Third, you will be able to think more clearly about what comes next, whether that means rebuilding the relationship or bringing it to a healthy close. Counseling is not about forcing a couple to stay together. It is a process of helping both people make the healthiest choice for themselves. Sometimes counseling actually makes it clear that separation is the right path. That, too, is a successful outcome. Individual counseling on your own is equally important. Even if your spouse refuses to participate, go on your own. In this situation, your mental health comes first. Working with a professional to sort through your emotions and build the strength to move forward, that is the most intelligent form of self-care. If you have decided to seek counseling, you have already taken the first step just by making that decision. Rising from the wreckage alone is too heavy a burden for any one person to carry. Asking for help is not a weakness, it is your right. And through that help, you will emerge stronger than before.